Hello and welcome everybody to the front nine of round number 3 of the 2021 Down East Players Cup presented by Eastern Disc Golf and Disc Box. I'm Brian Earhart, joined here one more time by Nathan Queen. We move back to West Meadowbrook Park. Super fun track to play.
Yeah, much more technical, a little more fitting in my opinion for the A-Tier status. It's come a long way over the years, and it's a super fun, enjoyable track to play. So we've got Michael Johansen, Scott Conway, Taylor Rafaleowski, and Dan Hastings lining up that small straight on lead card.
Yeah, and Michael Johansen tying the course record set by Scott Conway at Farmville. Scott had mentioned to me after the final round that he was very happy that MJ did not beat his record, but we will see what happens in this final round. Hole number 1. Nathan, this is a tricky line.
Yeah, 319 feet, super tight gap that we just passed through right there. Once you get through that gap, if you controlled it, you want to fly straight and just barely fade off to the left side. Tough to get the distance and hit that gap cleanly.
And there is a disc this season that has completely changed Michael Johansen's bag setup. It is the Scorch, and he is throwing this on every hole he can possibly get the chance to throw it on. Hyzer flip for him does not get down the fairway. And Scott Conway is originally from this area. He said he's played this course quite a bit. He's watched this course evolve from much humbler beginnings.
Ooh, and gets a little sneaky down the right side. Keeps on going down the fairway. He'll be just outside the circle there. He originally started down in Wilmington, North Carolina, which isn't too far from here, and he's lived in Greenville for quite a while now. So does know these courses well, along with Taylor here, who also has lived in Greenville for a while. Not quite able to sneak past that tree that Scott got by. That's going to be a tough par save from there.
And Dan is just fresh to death all weekend. He's got a nice polo for every day, looking flashy.
Moved away from the animals today.
He's getting into the geometry world.
Oh, and this gets kind of a rooted skip, I would say. It got slowed down a lot, much shorter than it was looking like it was going to be.
And final round is going to start out with bogey at best. I would have to say he has a long look to save the par. Definitely can't count him out. He has a long range on that putt.
And so does MJ. He's got a long one to start. He'll just be laying it up for a par, though.
Oh, yeah, this is definitely well within Taylor's range. He's got that long spin putt.
And gives it a good bid. Not how you want to start, but plenty of golf left. He'll be looking to turn it back around.
Oh, my goodness. I thought that was in the entire way.
Yeah, that looked good.
That would have been a nice dagger to start the round out with.
Just dropped a little bit and caught the top of that cage.
Sticks it from 45 feet.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Mine like to do that a lot.
He's channeling your energy from the Pro Tour Championship. Hey, that's what happens when you have perfect speed.
Yeah, if you can drop it in there, it should stay in.
Yeah, chains or no chains. Taylor drops in his 4, unfortunately. MJ is going to tap in the par, and we will see you on hole number 2.
435 feet, tree right in the middle of the gap. Right side is larger. That is the way we'll most likely see everybody go. Try to make sure you don't turn it over too much to go in the parking lot, or if it fades out too much as well, you can end up in some OB on the left side. A little bit low out of Dan's hand here. Long look, but most likely a par.
You wipe that smile off your face, MJ. No fun.
He doesn't know how to do that. But he shows Dan how to throw it just a little bit lower. And
he's laughing. He doesn't. That's what I always find enjoyable about MJ. It's the lead card, final round at an A-Tier, and he can still find a reason to just laugh at himself.
Which definitely helps for the rest of the round.
Yeah.
Scott going to try to correct, and he does so. He gets this up a bit higher. Drifting off to the right, so I'm not sure he'll get all of the distance to get there, but he'll be just outside of the circle.
Taylor's been throwing this disc really well. Pulling out the driver.
Yeah, he's got a PD2 and an FD that both look pretty similar.
We'll probably be able to tell pretty quickly.
This is the PD2, I believe.
I mean, that crashed like a PD2, and that was a fantastic shot. The ground play was a little softer than you'd expect, but he also just might be that buttery, you know?
Yeah, he does have, he got it turned over nicely. Just like MJ does with his purple banger, stands it right up, drops it right underneath it.
Wow, this is some range to be jump putting.
Yeah, Dan's got that long range. He's one of the few players that switches to a different putter for his long range putts, and he's able to, as you see, get a lot of distance on that.
I know for a while he was putting with the banger from Circle 2. I'm not sure if he is anymore.
Oh, and
just off the tray again.
Same spot as the first hole from just a little bit further away. Taylor able to bounce back from that bogey on hole 1, though. So even after 2 is not a bad place to be.
I'm calling it right now. Michael Johansen is going to look the same when he's 80 years old than he does right now. And I'm not saying that as an insult. I'm saying it as the man is timeless and his game is timeless. Hole number 3, 284. You mentioned it in the first round, Nathan. You kind of have to saw the shot off more than you think. A low screamer skip shot is actually a decent play to get that sideways momentum. OB deep.
Yeah, if you do go high, you really have to take a lot of speed off to let it kind of drift back to the right side. And if there is that right to left wind, then it could keep it from doing so. This is about right from Taylor, though. About 12 feet.
Going Raptor here. Higher route. I like the height. Yeah, love the height. Perfect. He's just going simple putter to the corner.
Yeah, going back to that same purple banger he just threw on the upshot of the last hole.
Gonna try to turn it.
Getting it out wide, but that wind kind of packed it down once it got around the corner. Still gets good float, though. He'll be just inside the circle. And we saw this the first round.
Love this play. The hook thumber. Because you'll get just such a more violent sideways skip hitting it on the top of the disc rather than the bottom side. And you get the roll forward.
And just like the first round, we're going to see it come right up next to the basket.
We got to check this out again. Again, if you are looking to work on your thumber form in general, I really like his body positioning on that. That is such a unique shot. You don't see hook thumbs come out too often, but I know for a fact in Charlotte and this area, you do see a decent amount.
Yeah, with all the scrambling you have to do, the thumber comes out pretty often. I was going to note the wind picking up right before MJ had to putt there, and it looks like it definitely kept his putter from staying up. Dan pretty close, not having to worry about it, taps in his birdie. It looks like Taylor and Scott should be able to do the same.
Tight race at the top already.
Yeah, MJ with the slow start.
You know, and with how many really awesome technical long par threes there are out here, it's going to be a shootout for sure.
Right, some of these par threes you want to get because they're reachable, but like you said, they're still fairly long. And if you don't get the right angle off of the tee, it makes it pretty tough to get.
Welcome to the shop.
Hole 4, 405 feet, one of those longer technical par threes that we were just talking about. You've got a gap to hit off of the tee, get out into the open, and then another gap to navigate at the end. Pretty tricky green once you get here. There's lots of trees.
Yeah, this is a fun shot.
One of my favorite teeing areas on the course.
Oh my.
Wow.
Right side gap for Taylor, and it's going to sneak him potentially inside circle 1. Right speed, I guess.
Getting some of that love that Scott got, and he did not on hole 1, catching that little tree, paying him back right there. We see Dan swatting at a few more gnats today. He doesn't have those animals to eat them away. And it cost him there. He pulls it off to the right and does not get the same luck as Taylor does.
Oh, that looks clean. That's got to flatten and come back left.
Yeah, nice shot.
Beautiful shot from
Yeah,
Scott.
great shot.
And like you said, he had mentioned that he has been cleaning up quite a bit in his form. There's that little swoop he said he was he was doing before, trying to attack the disc at a more level angle, and it's really coming out. His work has definitely been showing.
MJ trying to follow that line and does it just a little bit better. He puts it up there inside the circle.
Z-Flex Raptor right by the basket, 15 feet. Nice little sidearm there, and Scott has about circle's edge putt for birdie.
Yeah, what a set of drives.
Finally one drops for him. He's hit front tray quite a bit. That's a nice looking putt for Scott.
Yeah, able to get 2 in a row after a chance for the first 4. And what we're used to seeing from MJ here in North Carolina, letting go of the putt. We all watch it go in, but he's picking up as many. And Taylor, these are those putts that you need to capitalize on. Getting lucky through the gap, having a birdie look. And not able to do so this time. He'll be thinking about that one later on.
Nice little save for par there for Dan. Couple of players at 20 under. Couple of players at 18. And we still have a decent spread down the leaderboard as well. It's not just the lead card that's pulling away. There's a lot of players fighting for this top spot.
Yeah, a lot of holes out here can cause some damage and be stroke separators. Here's one that could be one of those as well. Hole 5, 397 feet. Hyzer stand up for a right-handed player with a lot of speed on it, so you can still get some skip. Tough shot to execute, but if you do it right, you can park it fairly easily.
Ooh.
This has got too much stand up on it. Looks like it's going to stay short of the wood. Should be an easy par.
MJ's also getting a little bit too much stand up. As long as it stays out in the open, he should be fine. There's definitely something shoving those discs off to the right. There's some wind out there.
Yeah, it usually would be a left to right here, kind of packing those discs down. This shot really does reward a player that has that 500-foot type of power. You can throw something more stable that won't stand up as much and can really have that low pushing line. Taylor does have that power, but still stands his up either way. Should have thrown something a bit more stable.
Yeah, you wonder what Dan is going to do here. If he's going to try to overcompensate for what he's been seeing. Oh, yeah.
Oh, this looks pretty good.
Gives himself a shot.
Yeah, gets that little short skip again. That grass it's slightly uphill there, and that grass is kind of thick. He'll be in circle 2, closer than the rest of the card.
Oh, just missed.
A nice bit around the tree there. Taylor, this looks... Go back to the first video. I think we had this same shot.
No!
Oh, just kidding, because he didn't do that.
Holy cow!
What a 2.
Give us that Gatekeeper rewind. No gap. Perfect putt. Taylor's coming to play.
There you go.
He wants the win.
That bogey on the first hole got him started. He's birdied 3 of the next 4 and is ready to keep it going. Great putt, Taylor. So Dan now going to try to make this to keep pace.
Clutch.
And again, able to just get it in there.
Circle 2 putting in the sport of disc golf, especially at the top level, is getting so good. Over the past, I would say 5 years, you know, the rivalry between Ricky and Paul had started like a Circle 2 arms race, so to speak. And now it's becoming such a standard skill you have to compete.
Discover Greenville, North Carolina, where we put whole hog Q on the map and inspiration lives on every corner. Unplug for a moment of tranquility or enjoy one of our parks, fields, greenways, or trails. Then recharge with fresh, local flavors, one-of-a-kind art galleries, and toe-tapping music. North Carolina's Emerald City is filled with countless hidden gems. Find yours in Greenville, North Carolina.
Hole number 6. Long tee is tough. 414 feet flying over the OB right now. Tucking back into the trees. It's just a long, technical golf shot.
And again, once you get close to the basket, you've got these guardian trees on either side. The right side being a bit more open. And he's burned this one over to the right. Gets past the pylons and avoids the OB, but not quite up there for a putt. Dan was wanting that to stand up a little bit more. He'll be over there in a similar spot to Taylor now. Yeah, so far not quite what we're looking for.
Let's see if MJ makes the correction. He's got the scorch in his hand. It's going to get that slow drift.
Yeah, it looks like he's overcorrected.
Yeah.
He saw everybody else go right. And you could see it in his release how much hyzer he had on that. One of those times where the group influenced him a bit too much. And that's probably what we're going to see from the rest of the group now, too.
Yeah, I can't imagine that there's going to be that aggressive of runs coming from outside of Circle 2. Potentially Scott.
Yeah, it was pretty aggressive. He tried to make it, gave it a good height, had the right line. Or gave it a good line, just a little bit too much height. And same for Michael Johansen there.
Oh, yeah, and this is a banger that he's putting from Circle 2 with.
Gonna have to go around a tree, but does not. And it looks like we'll have some par cleanups here. This is a bit of a tester. Dan usually knocks these down, though.
It's going to be a star par on hole number 6.
Nothing star about a par, Brian.
Bland card par. Sorry.
Yeah, other than Taylor's bogey on hole 1, we're seeing some clean golf, but a few more pars than the lead card would be looking to take. And going into hole 7, it's not going to get much easier. Hole 7 does play as the hardest hole on the course. Par 4, 679 feet, gap to hit off of the tee, gap to hit 80 feet off of the tee. Then once you've navigated both of those gaps, make sure you don't push it too straight. You'll go be in the parking lot. Get it up too high and fade too far, you'll go be in the baseball field. For your second shot, that OB does continue and wraps around the backside of the green. Righty backhand is ideal for this hole.
And that looks really good if it comes back and stays off that pole. No, and it stayed straight. Oh, my goodness, and it comes back in bounds.
Rolls back in bounds.
That's huge.
With the 3 meters that he gets off of that OB, or the meter that he gets off of that OB, 3 feet, you know. And Dan, there's a lot of sand around that tee pad. It looks like some may have gotten on top of it and he slipped a little bit. He got a good bounce out where he should be able to be, oh man, he should be able to throw a hyzer from there. Scott not messing with a whole lot, just tossing a hyzer around. He'll have a similar shot into the green from there. And that did not get the fortunate bounce. He's going to be a little pinched off. Oh.
Oh, boy.
And he threw such a stable disc that it just didn't get the carry. It had so much angle on it. It stayed OB. It's
a bizarre mistake for MJ, honestly. And Dan just releasing his backhand low.
Yeah, a little more height. That would have been just fine, but he catches one of those pylons. Luckily, stays in bounds. And that puts him maybe 50 feet or so to try to save his bogey after throwing OB on the second shot, showing why this hole does play as the hardest. Lots of OB. And this looks pretty good out of Scott. This is going to drop down. Yeah, gets a good little roll off of the tree. He's
Beautiful.
about 22 feet.
That's got to sit down.
Oh, and he
Okay.
skips up over that log and does stay in bounds for the second time, just barely away from the OB line. Dan pretty much securing his par there. Got a little bit left, but shouldn't be too bad for him.
Yeah, Dan's drives have been a little bit off this round, but he's been really good at scrambling his way to the basket.
Oh, and MJ not able to connect on the bogey putt. It looks like he's going to be taking a double bogey. With only one birdie so far on the round, he's now going to be over par.
It's a great par, being up against that fence on the first shot.
Yeah, great par. Unfortunate for Taylor. Got a couple lucky breaks to be in bounds and not able to capitalize on the birdie.
Oh boy,
And
that's got to sting.
yeah, we saw one of those the first round as well. Just one of those kind of nervous distances, you know. You're not quite sure if you should do your regular putt or you've got your little tap in. You can overthink it.
The Destroyer is essential on tour. One of the most versatile distance drivers in Innova's lineup. The new Halo plastic is probably the prettiest plastic that Innova has in their lineup. It makes for a really cool disc to bag. Very confident in throwing the Destroyer and keeping it in bounds at far ranges.
Hole number 8. Very tight gap off the tee. 578-foot par 4, but getting out of the gap is absolutely crucial on this hole. Once you clear about 3 to 350 or so out the gap, you then have this nice low ceiling gap to hit to get up to the basket. Tough hole, and if you hit early, it makes it really challenging.
Yeah, and hitting early is why this hole does play as the second hardest hole on the course. So back-to-back, 2 toughest holes here. And this is going a bit too straight, depending on the kick. Oh, that's fantastic. Gets out of the woods. He can't quite see the basket from there, but he's in the open and has a chance for a shot to the green.
That is the disc golf gods watching over him right there. That's a much more committed line from Dan. He pures the gap.
And that is what it's supposed to look like. Fantastic shot from Dan. Puts him in the prime position. And Scott disking down to the mid-range. Not far off, but gets a good little kick to get him out in the open and not in the mess over there on the left side. He'll kind of have that blind shot around the corner like Taylor. And this is a little early. And he will be in that mess on the left side.
Not a terrible lie from where he could be in there.
Yeah, and that's a good out. He's out. 230 feet to the pin now to try to save his par. Aggressive turnover from Scott, and gets a little branch to knock it down inside a circle too. He'll have a birdie look.
Oh, yeah. And you said the chance of getting up and down from there was not easy, and the straddle forehand skip shot paid off for him there. And Dan, I thought he gassed that a bit too much, but ended up throwing just a perfect shot.
Yeah, we've got 3 on the green for a birdie look. MJ trying to get up there for his par. Looks like he's done so. He'll be tapping in.
Little nerve on the putting green.
Yeah, he's had lots of birdie looks so far. Only able to convert on 2 of them.
He's still tied for the lead on the card. He's still throwing the disc really, really well. So if he keeps doing that and the putter comes alive, he very well has a shot at winning.
Yeah, if you're throwing well and keep giving yourself those chances, as long as you don't get in your head and stop giving yourself a chance, you're still right in it.
Exactly.
And you see there, he just missed that last kind of tap in on the last hole low. You see him hitting really high on the chains there, trying to make sure he doesn't make that
Hang in there, Scott.
brutal mistake again. And that brings us to hole 9, par 3, 298 feet. Very tight gap the entire way that makes you want to fade off to the right, but pretty much just throw it straight and you're going to end up close to the basket. That forehand shot with a stable disc gets out of the woods, but then you catch a flare and you'll end up right side about 40 feet.
Yeah, so whatever the fade or turn you take, it's got to get in the hole.
Oh, wow. Or
Just do that.
throw a fast disc that just skips straight up instead of off to the right.
You haven't figured that ground play out yet, Nathan?
Not quite. Great shot from Taylor, though. Almost with the ace, he'll have a pretty easy birdie look.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and he just catches the last tree, and that's
Yeah.
kind of what you're talking about.
If that had missed that tree, that was still going to be over their right side pretty far.
Yeah, if you're throwing the forehand, it's got to flip a little bit more than you think.
Oh, this is early left. That's trouble. Or it is a long birdie look.
I'm sure this man is going to show us some more textbook play on this. This is a Comet.
Yeah, I really like the righty backhand for this shot. If you can just follow that left side the whole way with a little bit of right turn.
You mean like this?
Yes.
You mean like this?
Yes.
Let's take a look at MJ's throw. I'm not going to ever analyze MJ's throw on a technical level because the man is all finesse. He's all feel. He knows his angles. He knows his equipment. He's been playing for so long. His timing is still perfect even with how short everything is.
So smooth.
Yeah. I'm never going to do a full breakdown on that man.
Thank you for your disc following my words.
Yeah, exactly. He whispers the line and then it happens.
And Scott with the long look here, 80 feet or so. A little bit of a raised basket, so tough to give it a full run. Taylor looking to get his disc chain height for the second time here. And able to connect for the birdie.
Taylor sneaking on up there. We've seen the lead change a couple times already, 2 or 3 times already this front 9. And now MJ's creeping back up there as well.
Yeah, that puts him back to even now after that double bogey. So he's having a rough start, but still right there in it. if he can get going on the back nine.
$19, $20, $20, $21 under par. We have a ball game, folks.
Yeah, you can see just 2 red blocks on the scorecards. Players keeping it fairly clean. We've got some other players from the chase card and third card playing hot. Tristan Tanner shooting off 8 down so far, moving way up the leaderboard.
We will see you soon for the conclusion of this tournament. The back 9 holes will be coming at you soon. Make sure to subscribe to Gatekeeper Media on YouTube, and we will see you then.
We'll see you guys out there.